moving swiftly along from the ridiculous of the past to the ridiculous of the future, I thought we'd burst into our main topic of the evening.
Oh, no.
I've read two things, and I want to present them as a contrast, if you will, a compare and contrast on the pressing issue of seasteading.
Oh yes.
Are we talking about international
some
waters?
of this stuff.
Yes, we are spending the rest of this episode talking about international waters.
I thought you were saying we were
right.
going to we were spending the rest of this episode in international waters. I was like, when is the boat picking me up?
Yeah, we gotta get down to the Schuylkill real fucking quick.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you pick up anything from the rest of this episode, it's please don't go on board when libertarians are around, because nothing good will happen.
No.
Safe advice for all seasons.
Can I just check? We're obviously talking about international waters. How many jokes about Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew, and others are coming down the pipeline because of this?
I haven't got any prepared. I mean, I can't control the rest of you.
Yeah.
I think at some point someone's probably going to say something like the HMS, technically it's a phoebophilia.
Well, there is this. Half of this story does involve a boat. So I read two things. One thing is absolutely brilliant. It's an article by Sophie Elmhurst in The Guardian called "The Disastrous Voyage of the MS Satoshi, the World's First Cryptocurrency Cruise Ship," which is...
The fucking what now? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Shut up.
What makes it? Does it mine on board? Do they mine Bitcoin on board?
Yes.
Do they at least use some sort of cogen system to reuse the waste heat to power the boat?
Probably not. No.
Okay.
Anyway, but all shall be revealed within the article. Because the other thing that I read, because that's the practical side of being a libertarian on the high seas. The other thing I read, it's much less good, but much even funnier, I think, is a book called Seasteading: How Floating Nations Will Restore the Environment, Enrich the Poor, Cure the Sick, and Liberate Humanity from Politicians.
All right, Peter Thiel, calm your ass down.
This is by a guy called Joe Quirk, Quirk.
It's not a real name.
Yes, it's real.
I wonder what his quirk is.
You don't want to know.
He only has
Technically, it's a phoebophilia, actually.
And the co-author is a guy called Patry Friedman. And if you think, oh, I know that name, Patry Friedman, you would be correct, because he is the grandson of Milton Friedman.
Oh, of course he fucking is.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck off.
So yeah, just to set the scene a bit, I'll read you the opening two paragraphs from the very good
You don't have to.
article. Yeah, I will.
You don't have
No,
to. You don't
no,
have to do
unfortunately.
Oh, no.
No, this is the thing with Rob. He does have to. This is a horrible compulsion.
One evening in 2010, in a hushed San Francisco auditorium, former Google engineer Patry Friedman sketched out the future of humanity. The event was hosted by the Peter Thiel Foundation, which defends and promotes freedom in all dimensions. From behind a large lectern, Friedman, grandson of Milton Friedman, laid out his plan. He wanted to transform how and where we live, to abandon life on land and all our decrepit assumptions of the nature of society. He wanted, quite simply, to start a new city in the middle of the ocean. He called it seasteading, homesteading on the high seas, a phrase borrowed from a software engineer with whom he had founded the Seasteading Institute in 2008, helped by a $500,000 donation from Peter Thiel. In a 4-minute vision dump...
Please, I need you to stop saying Peter Thiel that way. It sounds too much like a name.
I
was about to say, yeah.
Technically, he's a phoebophilia. Jesus.
In a 4-minute vision dump, Friedman explained his rationale. Why, he asked, in one of the most advanced countries in the world, were they still using systems of government from 1787? If you drove a car from 1787, it would be a horse, he quipped.
Okay.
When I think of when I think of really modern institutions that are all very up to date and have no references to tradition, what I think is sailing on the high seas. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's think of government as an industry where countries are firms and citizens are customers, he declared.
Let's not do that.
The worst performing industries kill their own customers and lose trillions. So the idea is, how do you get away from governments? That's simple. Go to sea where there are no governments. Quote Patrick Friedman, let 1,000 nations bloom on the high seas.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Jesus wept.
All flagged under Libya.
Yeah, or Panama. Take it back.
Libya and Panama will be returning in this article.
This is slightly less stupid than going into space to escape government, I guess, but only marginally so.
So what I'll do is, like, for the rest of today's podcast, like, I'll tell you a bit about some of the shit, the weird ideas in the book, and compare and contrast them with the reality of what happened when a cryptocurrency cruise liner based on libertarian principles tried to set sail and park itself in international waters just outside Panama.